in a while. Everybody knows that they should have given the ball to Marshawn. Everybody knows that. I mean, even the London broadcasters were saying that, these guys watch cricket for a living, and they knew they should have given the ball to Marshawn. Give the bloody ball to Marshawn. Everybody knew that. So you look at that, and it's like, okay, why did they give it to him? Okay, they knew it probably would have been a media gaffe if they had done it. He runs in, gets a touchdown. Marshawn, you just won the Super Bowl. What next? I'm just going to Disney World because I don't want to get fined.
Hey, everybody. It's the Maurice Brown Show Sports Edition. Playing a little pitch and catch with my nephew, Caleb.
Hey, guys.
He's the next Jerry Rice. Want to show him?
Yeah, let's
do
go.
it. You're going to love this. Ready, set, go! Let's start the show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Maurice Brown Show NFL edition with Caleb Lopes, my nephew, and my main man, Stu Antoine, real Stewart, back in the house. Stu, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, Mo? Good to be back, man. What's up, Caleb?
What's up? Good to be here with you once again.
As they say, it's all good in the hood. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now. We got a lot of stuff to unpack here today. We were talking about the Commanders and what they did to themselves. But that story is so juicy. I'm going to hold off on that for just a moment. We want to start out with some things that happened on Sunday that I thought were pretty wild. And the first one is, I got to start with my boys. My boys look like we might be back. Not there yet. But my question is, how do we explain the sudden reemergence of the Green Bay Packers? Skill or luck?
You want to take that first, Caleb? Or?
Yeah, sure. Honestly, I think it's both, because the teams that they have been playing they really haven't shown their full potential, especially in the Vikings.
Okay.
But the Packers, they really have been playing. They've been playing a great version of their game. And if they keep playing like this, I think they could really make it into the playoffs.
Okay. Stu?
I agree. I think it's a little bit of both, but I think it's more skill than luck. The luck would come in with them actually making it into the playoffs, because they need some luck. They need some things to go their way for them to make it in. And if they do make it in, they're definitely going to be a problem that us teams in the NFC have to worry about.
Yeah.
I look, I think I can break this down, being that this is my team. I can say it's both. I mean, there's some skill involved. We had, we had a lot of, interceptions over the last 5 weeks. We got a bunch of them from Tua. That concussion protocol was important because he thought he played for us, you see. Yeah. And so we took those picks. You feel what I'm saying? And then, Kirk Cousins just maxed out as Kirk Cousins and had 4 turnovers. So, and then, my gosh, our running game is just monstrous. Yeah. And Aaron Rodgers is taking a step back and letting the running game speak for itself. But then again, it's like we get lucky because, again, the Commanders, they go out and they lay an egg at home against a non-playoff team with a chance to make the playoffs. Of course, they would have had to beat Dallas the following week. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean, the job would not have been completed had they beaten, the Browns yesterday. But you can't lose that game.
No.
And because they lost it, they left the door open for the Packers to get in. Job's not done yet. Got to beat Detroit. They're hot. They whipped the Jets yesterday, 41-10. So, I mean, as I say all of that, and I jump to the Commanders because, again, they laid an egg at home. It's inexcusable. But actually, before I get to them, I want to get to another topic. And this starts with you and your 49ers.
Okay.
Jason Stidham balled out on y'all yesterday. Is he the future of the Las Vegas Raiders, or was yesterday's game against the 49ers a fluke?
I mean, if we were going off of one game, I would say yes. Well, next year he'll have a chance to actually prove what he can do once people, watch him more, have tape on him more. But he fit that scheme perfectly. He did a great job. I think we kind of slept on him a little bit because he diced our defense up. So
He did.
I got to tip my hat off to the kid, and I definitely think if he continues to play like that, he will be the future. But consistency is the key.
Well, it is the key, and I don't want to crown. I'm not ready to crown Jason Stidham. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm not ready to crown him. I think the 49ers have already packed it in, sort of, kind of. I mean, they weren't even thinking about the Raiders. They probably didn't do any video study on Stidham. He'd been riding the bench for not just a year, but like 2-3 years, and he got him. Yeah, but it's about doing it, week after week. So no, I'm not going to crown Stidham. I just think the 49ers slept on him, and it almost cost them. But they came out of there with the W. What'd you think about that one, Caleb?
He's the backup QB for a reason, but he played really well, like surprisingly well, like to really mess up the 49ers secondary like that. You really have to like be playing. But I really don't think he's the future of the Raiders.
Okay.
I still think Derek Carr is a little bit better.
I'm gonna go with fluke. I think it was a fluke. I don't mean to disrespect Jason Stidham. He had a really good game, but that 49er defense, no. You got lucky. You won't do it again. I guarantee if 49ers played him again, he wouldn't do that. So I'll give him credit for having a great game. But yeah, anyway, I was shocked because I thought the 49ers actually would have blown them away, and they were sleeping on that one yesterday. Yeah. Next topic, how do we explain the Commanders? I've been talking about them since we started the show. Going with Wentz over Heineke yesterday. How do you explain that, Stu?
Horrible call. I was talking to Aaron about it, and I was like, this is a bad call. Aaron thought it was a good call at the time.
Oh, my goodness.
But, at the time, he did. And we were going back and forth. I was like, no, Heineke is like the heartbeat of the team right now. The team plays better when he plays. Heineke may not put up superstar numbers, but it seems like as an overall team, the team rallies behind him, and they got that juice. I was like, you don't want to mess that up by putting in Wentz, and then look what happened. I mean, Wentz played horrible. Riverboat Ron should be fired. He needs to go. The thing that killed me the most was in the post game press conference. They asked Ron, did he know that if they lost and the Vikings lost, that they were eliminated? And he was like, no, I didn't know that. And I'm like, how do you not know that? Like,
how do you not know that?
You have one job. You're the head coach.
Yeah.
He needs to go.
Well, I mean, if that wasn't an epitaph statement, I don't know what is. Yeah. I didn't know she'd be on his gravestone.
Right.
I didn't know. Okay, but look, I'll tell you yesterday. So Jason stood up, like I said, did his thing yesterday, but Brian Mitchell down in DC had some choice words about what went down yesterday. Let's take a listen.
Flipping out things of that nature. But if you have any connection with Washington, I don't care from the Redskin days, the football team, and now, you have to voice your displeasure with that BS that we saw on the field today. It was trash, okay? Yeah. People have been saying garbage all day. Just say trash. Trash is worse than garbage. Garbage is a nicer way to talk about trash.
God.
This was god-awful today. Offensively, defensively, coaching was absolutely terrible. You got one guy, Cam Curl, not there on the defense, and it's that bad. Derek Forrest was playing terrific. But today he looked like quicksand. His feet in quicksand, he couldn't move.
Oh, my goodness.
Offensively, I don't know what Carson was thinking about. And I don't know what the play calling was. It's just garbage trash is what we saw today. That's all. It was not good. And listen, we could get here. We try our best. Santana and I play for this team. We understand how things go. You try your best you got to be honest with the fans. You all come on here to hear us tell you what we truly feel. But then again, you don't want to say things because like you don't want to just attack people.
Yeah.
It's time for attacking now
Mm-hmm.
because for 3 years, I've heard how we're going to change culture. The culture may be changing, but we can say performance on the football field. You cannot have this. It's 7-8-1 now with 1 game left. Okay? We can go 8-8-1. We can be 7-9-1. I don't want to see another damn tie. But we end up 7-9-1. How can we sit up here and say that we've made any step forward? Better receivers, better running back, defense is supposed to be top notch, and we're still winning 7 games. Is this the mark we got? Are we starting to look at this team? What was the coach used to be in Tennessee? Jeff Fisher. Is it what we can expect here in Washington? 7 games, 8 games, that's all we can win under this staff? They got to find a way to get something better because right now, trash is all I see.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I could not agree with Brian Mitchell anymore. I couldn't agree with them more. It is inexcusable. I'm a Packer fan. I love you, Commanders. But if I were a Commander fan, I just couldn't. I don't know what I'd do if I were a Commander fan because there's just no excuse for it. This late in the year and going back to a guy you said you didn't believe in, going back to a guy your team vocally made it clear they didn't believe in, but did believe in the guy that you decided to go with, and they rallied around him. Yeah, he had a couple of bad games down the stretch. I get it. But you know what, dude? You're too far into this ride to turn back.
Yeah.
You have a non-playoff team coming to your – Heineke would have beaten the Browns. I'm just going to tell you right now. He would have beaten Cleveland. I don't care what anybody says. I really believe that. Would they have beaten Dallas? I don't know.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. But you know what? I'm going to throw the dice and ride with Heineke. I'm not going back to Carson Wentz. And because Ron Rivera did that, I think he's fired. Your thoughts, Stu?
He needs to go. The offensive coordinator needs to go. They need a whole new regime change. The owner needs to go.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to go. They need to start over. That was just a horrible decision. You've already selected Heineke. Wentz was healed and ready to go back, and you decided to keep Wentz on the bench. So why bring him in now?
Yeah.
You were in every game, even the ones they shouldn't have lost to the Giants. That was a horrible officiating game with those 2 penalties at the end that cost the Skins the game. I mean, the Commanders the game. But you got to roll with Heineke. The team rallied around him. Seems like the defense played better when he was there. The offense, he had chemistry with the receivers. With your number 1 receiver, he said, "This is my guy. You got to roll with him." That was just a bad choice, and I think it's one that should cost him his job. He got to go.
Caleb, let me hear you.
Tyler Heineke, he controls that locker room. He has it. They bonded with him, and taking him out and putting him on the bench and putting Wentz out there, and I think that really was the last straw for the Commanders. And the last straw for all of that management, all the coaches, they really need a rebuild. They really
again,
do.
I totally agree with you. Ron Rivera's got to go. I'm sorry. Riverboat Ron, I never believed in it. I ain't gonna lie to you, nothing personal. I never believed in Riverboat Ron. That was a Cam Newton statement that was written on his back by Cam, but it had nothing to do with Rivera's skills as a head coach. Like I said, on his tombstone, it will read, "I didn't know." Anyway, that being said, we're going to go to our next topic of conversation. Yesterday, the Eagles lost a critical game to the Saints. Yes, they're in the playoffs, but now you're fighting for home field, something that you had locked up. Is it inexcusable that the Eagles lost to the Saints at home yesterday, even with Gardner Minshew at quarterback?
No. Oh, go ahead, Caleb.
No. Honestly, I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah.
Because just off of their defense, they should be able to lock up that they should be able to lock up the Saints.
Yeah.
There's no way that the Saints should even score more than 2 touchdowns on them, which it's just inexcusable. I just don't see a reason for them not winning that game. Go
Stu,
ahead,
your
Stu.
take. I agree with you, Caleb. Go ahead, Stu. Your take.
I'm gonna say I picked the Saints to win. Because
Okay.
the Saints are a tough team. They have a great defense. Yeah, they need to figure out that quarterback situation, but this is the NFL. I mean, any given Sunday, you come in there thinking that, oh, we're the better team. You can lose to a team that you're better than
Yeah.
if you don't have your stuff together. So
Right.
I think that the Saints they're playing spoiler. That they're feeling some type of way. They haven't played their best football this season, and their defense was charged up, and they had the skill positions. They have stuff on the offense with Kamara, and they got guys on the outside. The quarterback play was questionable, and I knew without the Eagles quarterback playing, their starting quarterback playing, that they had a shot. And look what happened. I just need them to lose one more game. That's all.
Well, and we're going to get to that in a moment, but I would like to say, being at home, this is a critical game, and you have to win this game. I'm sorry. You've been bossing all year, and now you get to the doorstep, and you could lose home field. If they do, I feel it's inexcusable to get this late in the season and lose home field. And Gardner Minshew should have been able to be the Saints. Yeah, the Saints have a very good defense. You're the Philadelphia Eagles, and you should have won that game at home with Gardner Minshew. I think that was a huge mistake. And as I say that, you mentioned it before, you need these guys to tank one more because that's what it looks like. I think somebody slid up some money under the table because they're tanking. But is the Eagles' loss yesterday, with that loss, have the Cowboys now become the favorite to win the NFC East?
They just might. It's tough because they're both playing divisional games, and if I'm the Commanders, I'm gonna play Heineke. I know it's kind of hard to go back to him after what you did, but if you're not gonna make the playoffs, at least you can beat the Cowboys. Going out with a bang. So I think the Commanders, that could be a trap game for the Cowboys. I think the Commanders are going to come out and play tough. I think the Giants are going to play Philly tough. Those division games, it can go either way. So it definitely could be a trap game. And we all know that sometimes when Dallas has their own destiny in their own hands, a lot of times they drop the ball. So I have zero faith in the Cowboys to get it done.
Caleb?
Honestly, I agree with you, Stu. It's like the Cowboys are that team that they really do like to choke. They
Yeah,
They do.
They do.
They'll go out and win the harder games and then choke against a team like they're playing the Commanders.
Yeah.
So, and
Listen,
I just don't think they could go out and get that home field.
Listen.
I think 49ers are going to go get it.
well, and we're going to get to that in just a moment, but let me just say this regarding this comedy show coming up between the Commanders and Cowboys. It would not shock me in any way, shape, form, or fashion if the Commanders won this game. It doesn't matter when these two get together. It's just blood and guts, and it would be like this rivalry for Heineke to be trotted out there and then win the game over the Cowboys. So I would not be shocked, Stu. I totally agree with you, like Caleb. I think this is a game that the Commanders actually can win. I'm just not willing to give the favorite to them. I mean, on paper, the Cowboys should win this game. On paper, the Cowboys should blow them out of FedEx Field.
Yeah.
That's what they should do.
I'll put it this way.
Matter of fact, on paper, they should have the referee say, we call this game due to humiliation and embarrassment to the city of Washington.
Yeah.
How? That's what that's how bad they should beat them. But that I would not be shocked if the Commanders won the game. I wouldn't be shocked at all. And that leads me to my next point in this discussion, as you both were itching at getting to, and that's this. Who wins the tiebreaker? for home field if Dallas, Philly, San Fran, and Minnesota all conceivable end up at 13-4?
Well, go ahead. All right, I know the answer.
San Fran, for sure.
That is
Yeah,
correct.
it's just no doubt. Go ahead, Stu.
Yeah, 49ers. So if Philly loses, no matter what the Cowboys do, the Cowboys can beat the Commanders. Or if Philly loses and we beat the Cardinals, we're the number 1 seed. We need Philly to lose. We need go. I'm a Giants fan right now. I'm rooting for the Giants, the G-men, to come out and do what they need to do. Minshew, he's not playing well. I think he's showing why he is a backup.
Yeah.
A lot of people, I think he's been getting too much praise. I've been hearing, so what? The starter's out. Minshew's going to get it done. They're not going to have too much of a drop off. Well, there was a big drop off, and they're losing games that they should easily win. And he is a backup. He's not ready to be the guy yet. And I think the way the Giants play, they have a great chance. It's going to be probably a low-scoring game, a lot of running, a lot of in between the trenches, in between the tackles and stuff like that. And if they can get pressure on Minshew, which he's not as mobile, I think the Giants got a good chance of pulling off I wouldn't even say it's an upset without their quarterback. So,
well, Gardner Minshew held up to what he's truly known for, his mustache. But so no, I tell you, dude, this is going to be a tough game for Philly. Even if Jalen was playing, the Giants are a tricky team. The Giants don't scare you, but they're tricky. You've got to be ready to play ball. And with Gardner, they're in trouble. I think they're in trouble. And I think, honestly, I think the Giants are going to win this game. Philadelphia is in trouble, and I don't think there's any doubt you're going to beat the Cardinals. I mean, let's understand that. And with that being said, you got home field. But I mean, my gosh, if Minnesota finds a way to sneak in this thing, I would be shocked. And Dallas, of course, I'd be shocked as well. This really comes down to Philly and San Fran. Mm-hmm. And I think the 49ers are going to end up, having the road to the Super Bowl go through San Francisco. And I don't think anybody wants to go to San Francisco. Nobody wants to go to San Francisco. And it's looking like that's how it's gonna play out. Of course, we got to play the games, and we're just talking about predictions. That's why they play the games, because this is an unpredictable game. But I think that is going to be a very interesting scenario. Now, as I say all of that, I'd love to hear your top 5 teams in the AFC, starting with you, Stu.
All right. So top 5 teams in the AFC. I think we got the Chiefs. They're sitting at number 1 right now. I got the Bills at number 2. Got the Bengals number 3. Number 4, I think I have the Chargers, and number 5, I have the Ravens.
All right, and we welcome to the show, as you say that, Aaron Too Tall Moore. Aaron, what's going on, brother?
Not good, Mo.
What's up?
Not.
What's up, Taylor?
I'm going to say this. We just played the Brian Mitchell clip a few minutes ago, and I saw another clip from the DC, one of the DC affiliates out there in the East Coast, and you guys are angry and upset out there. I knew you were going to be upset, but I did not expect the anger to be so great. Give us a vibe for the feeling that's going on right now in Washington.
Oh man, the vibe is we want everything new. That's the vibe right now. They want the coach gone, offensive coordinator gone.
Yeah.
Of course, we already wanted the owner gone.
Yeah.
It's terrible, and it's terrible because of the decision making and some of the things Ron does is you can't it's not nothing you can explain. Like, for instance, if we would have, we lost, but if Vikings would have won, beat the Packers, then we still would have been a chance to, have another shot. But the Packers, beat the Vikings, and we was out. But Ryan did not know that. And another he didn't know that. How you not know that?
Oh my God.
He didn't know that. So, and this is the thing. So I have no problem with him starting Wentz. That's not the problem I have. The problem I have is he didn't pull him. Now, why didn't you pull him? Was it because you thought we could get through this game, and if we win next week, we're in the playoffs? Or if he would have known that, would he not pull Wentz at halftime? Be like, this is it. If we don't win this game, we out. We can't keep our hands in another team chance in another team hands.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then oh my goodness.
Well, I this is not to defend Riverboat Ron, but he thought, I think on paper, that there's no way Green Bay was going to beat Minnesota. I don't think anybody really thought Green Bay would beat Minnesota. And he gambled on the fact that they would not, and they'd have that shot, like you stated, next week against Dallas, and he could throw Heineke out there and have a shot at it. But it was just a poor decision. Forget about what happens in somebody else's game. You got to handle your business.
Exactly.
And there's just no excuse for it.
And the thing is, when the game started, the first couple of drives, you saw Wentz didn't have it. You saw it.
Yeah.
You saw Wentz didn't have it. And to me, it was still a close game at halftime. I believe we was down by 3. I think it was like 10-7 or something like that.
Yeah.
But at that point, just put Heineke in. I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand the play calling. I don't understand some of his decision making, analytics. Throw that out, flush it down the toilet. Because if that's what he's going by on some of these play calls, I just everything was just terrible. The play calling was terrible. The decision he made was terrible. And that's where we at. And if you think about it, we're here because of the coaching staff. Because if you look at the Giants and Brian Dable, their roster's not better than Washington's. But why are they in the playoffs and we're not? Because I believe their coaching staff has a better coaching staff too. So I mean, I don't know. I'm on the point. I'm ready for a change.
Well, I just wanted you to get it out, Aaron.
It's gonna be a while before it's all out.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, sir. I totally understand. I welcome to the Maurice Brown Show NFL edition, and we're talking, ladies and gentlemen, with Caleb Lopes, Antoine, Real Stewart, and of course Aaron Moore. We're looking at our AFC top 5 teams, Power 5 teams. Caleb, who's your top 5?
I got KC at 1, Kansas City, Buffalo at 2, Bengals at number 3, Chargers at number 4, and I really like the Jaguars at number 5.
Who'd you have at 3?
I had the Bengals at 3.
Okay, Bengals, Chargers, and Ravens, right?
Nah, Jaguars.
Oh my gosh, the Jags.
The Jags, they're really on that come up.
What do you think about that list, Aaron?
He had the Jags at number 3.
No, number 5.
Oh, number 5. The Jags, they are playing well, but I'm not sure if I put them in that list. But I do think they would be better next year. Now he had Ravens at number 3.
Did you have the Ravens at 3?
Did you have the Ravens at 3?
Nah, it was Chiefs, Bills, Bengals, Chargers, and Jags. You got it right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, I think the Ravens should be up in there, even though they kind of stumbled without Lamar, but I mean, this is my. But other than that, yeah, I agree with that.
I would too. I would throw the Ravens at 5. I think the Jags are a team you don't want to see the way they're playing right now. They're going to go with Tennessee on Sunday for the AFC South division. And the winner of that will end up going to the playoffs. The other one is going to go to the crib and make plans for Cancun. Let's look at the top 5 in the NFC. Stu, who you got?
I got the 49ers at number 1. And I
Of course
know,
you
what was it like? No, 4 or 5 weeks ago, something like that. When I was telling you we was in the top 5, he was giving me some slack. I was telling you, just wait. Just wait. 49ers will be the number 1 seed. As Philly lays the egg this week. I got the Philly at number 2. They need to get their stuff together. Hopefully, when they're in the playoffs, when their quarterback comes off, he's not too rusty because he got not playing 2 or 3 weeks.
Right.
He has to get back in the groove and the rhythm with his receivers and with his team. But I got number 3. I have the Vikings. I just have them on paper at number 3. I don't have no faith in Kirk Cousins and the Vikings in the playoffs.
Okay.
Number 4, I have Dallas. And then number 5, number 3, I'll put the Cowboys in front of the Vikings. I'll put the Cowboys in front of the Vikings. 4, I got Vikings, and 5, I'll go with old Brady. He snuck up in there, so you definitely can't sleep. Can't sleep on. They're the number 4 seed. They're the number 4 seed right now. So the Buccaneers are in the playoffs. Everybody's 0-0 in the playoffs, and who has more experience in time? He's not playing the best, but they just need him to win one game at a time. So everybody's 0-0. So I got them as the 5th seed as far as in the league.
Okay. So you think the Bucs are better than the Giants?
Yeah.
Okay.
If they had to match up in the playoffs, I would favor the Bucs just off of experience alone. If Tabo gets that defense, they have a good defense. They haven't been playing up to their talent level. But if they shut out to stop the run, which they are good run stuffers, and make Jones beat them through the air, they're going to have problems.
You can't play the Falcons every week now. Right. All right. Anyway, look, all right, Stu. I give you that. Hey, Aaron, who you got, Aaron? Who's your top 5, Aaron?
I agree with Stewart list because I think the Niners might sneak up there because I don't think the Eagles are going to play Hurts this week. I think they're going to let him heal up a little bit more. And frankly, I don't think he should play just because it's the way they play him and the style he plays. I think he should sit out. I think Minshew going to get in. I think the 49ers might take that spot.
Okay, now I'm going to throw this to you, Caleb, in a minute. I have to say this, though. This is why I've always shied away from quarterbacks that run a lot. And 2 of the best are not able to help their teams because they've gotten injured from running the football too much.
And not only does Hurts run a lot, he won't slide. He
thinks because he can, what's that thing he does? The bench press, whatever the press is. He can do 600 that he can run the ball like a Mack truck. No, sir.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about when he runs, he looks like a running back. He runs like a running back a little bit, but he can't. He has to learn how to do the Russell Wilson.
Well,
so.
You've got he needs to learn how to do the Russell Wilson. But you've got Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson out because they run too much. And I've been saying this for a long time. You cannot do that in the NFL. You can do it in high school and you can do it in college. You cannot do that in the NFL. But we'll see what happens going forward. Caleb, who you got? Who's your top 5?
I got the same list as Stu.
Okay.
But I gotta change the Bucs for the Giants.
Yeah.
I just feel like the Giants are a little bit better than Brady.
I mean, I'm going to say this to you, and I hate now. I'm going to sound a little disrespectful to Tom Brady, and that's really not something I want to do because I think the guy is the best ever, and I don't think anybody would disagree with that. But when you look at this season, the only teams that they've been able to really handle are their divisional opponents who are trash.
Yeah.
And so for you to tell me, oh, did you see him do it again? He came back with 0.2 of a second left, and the Bucs won again. You beat the Falcons.
Yeah.
You beat the Carolina Panthers. You beat a high school team.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear all of this stuff. Did you see? Oh, Tommy did it again. It was anyway. The Giants, I think, obviously are a better team. The Bucks are bad, man. I mean, I've been trying to give them a pass all year. They're bad. They are just a bad team that happens to be playing in the worst division in football, and they're going to go to the playoffs.
But
Can I add something to that real quick? I'll say this to recant that. The Giants are one-dimensional. If you stop Saquon Barkley, they're done.
I agree with that.
They're done.
Yeah. I agree with that.
The Bucks may not be playing their best football, but talent to talent, they got big dogs on the outside. They got receivers galore. They got a running back in Fournette and the other guy who can get it going. If they play to their potential, I feel like they're better. And also, they have the edge on playoff experience. You know, a couple years ago, they won the Super Bowl. Yeah. I think that Tom, even though he's old Tom, he has another gear that he can click it into and get his team responding well. And they're going to have to depend on their defense. If they can stop Saquon and make Jones have to beat him through the air, that's the matchup that I'm looking at being a problem in the playoffs.
Well, I'll give you that. And I don't think the Giants are world beaters by any stretch of the imagination. They can go out there and lay an egg. All you had to do is go back 2 weeks ago. I think they laid an egg against somebody, and they've done it a few times this year. Heck, sorry, Aaron. Heck, they tied the Commanders with a chance to win the ball game. It's like, come on, win the game, man. And so the Giants are not world beaters. No, they're not. But I can definitely see what you're saying. Take Saquon Barkley away, they don't have anything. So that's a great point. I would totally agree with that. As we look at the top 5 in both conferences, what about the entire NFL? Starting with you, Stu.
Well, the entire NFL, I think. Let's see. You talking about the top 5?
Yeah.
All right. This is gonna be tough. I'll put the Chiefs at number 1. I'll put just because, you know, they beat us in that Super Bowl, and we gotta come take it. You know, I give them that. I say Mahomes is that dog until he's not. Except for the Bengals seem to have their number, but I'm going to get the Chiefs at number 1, and they also number 1 in the AFC as well. Number 2, I'm going to put them 49ers. I'm putting the 49ers at number 2. Number 3, I want to say Philly with their quarterback, not with Minshew.
Yeah.
The Eagles that we know, I would say number 3.
Yep.
Number 4, I would say the Bills. And number 5, I would say the Bengals.
All right. That's an interesting top 5. Aaron Moore, what you think, buddy?
I'm going to start with the Eagles at number 1. And then number 2, I'm going to put the Bills at number 2.
Wow. Okay.
And then number 3, I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, I'm going to go with the Bengals. They call hot late. And number 5, I'm going to go with the San Fran 49ers.
Oh my gosh. All right. Got them bumped at number 5. Okay. That's interesting. Caleb, who you got, bro?
I got the Niners at 1.
Yeah.
Buffalo, number 2. Okay. Kansas, number 3. Eagles at number 4. And then Bengals, number 5.
Eagles at 4 and Bengals at 5.
5, yeah.
All right. That's similar to Stu's list. I mean, look, it's almost to the point where it's kind of interchangeable. I think the 49ers are definitely the best team in the NFL. They scared me yesterday when they played the Raiders, but I think you can give them a pass just because, I mean, it was Raiders and their season's over. And they benched their starters. So you're not thinking really much about the Raiders when you go into that game, and they got surprised. And they almost lost a critical game getting home field. So But that being said, I think there's no you don't want to play the 49ers, man. You definitely don't want to go to their place and play them in the playoffs. I think they're the most feared team in the NFL. And I think, followed by the 49ers, I think I'd put the Bengals at number 2. I think the Bengals are the scariest team in the AFC. And I've already picked the Bengals and 49ers in the Super Bowl. That's my Super Bowl pick right now. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you would take I would take the Chiefs at number 3, followed by the Bills. And then I'd go with the Eagles simply because the Eagles are looking now kind of like a team that's beat. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be ready to go, bro. He'll be on the field, but he's not going to be the Jalen we saw all year. I just don't think he's going to be. And if he can't give them what he's been giving them, they're going home, man. Eagles are going home. I hate to say that because I thought they were going to the Super Bowl. But unless Jalen Hurts can come out there and play without fear of re-injuring that shoulder, and he's 90% at least, they're not going to last. There are some dogs in the NFC you don't want to go limping against, man. And you definitely don't want to go up to Frisco limping. You don't want to go to Dallas limping. Dallas has already showed them that. Even though the Cowboys are Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, you don't fool with them. You don't know what you're going to get out of them. You don't want to be limping around those dudes. And even the Vikings, quite frankly and honestly, you don't want to be fooling around with the Vikings. I mean, they're not 12-4 for nothing. So you got to be 100% at this time of year, is what I'm saying. And the Eagles are not. So I have them at number 5. That's how I'm looking at that. But we'll see what happens. A lot of football left, a lot of exciting football left. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the playoff picture.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3. Listen.
Listen, brother, listen. Rising comic. You got Zachary. All he has to do is say, yo, stop, Zachary. Okay, are you Nancy? You say, yo, you already know? That's the most gangster thing I have heard all day, nigga. So you work downtown. Is that all you're going to give me, or are we going to... Okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still going to be up here 15 more minutes just staring at you. Nothing to do. Wait real hard like you're having a seizure, all right? You homestead, man. You ain't got to say nothing out loud. Don't hold his arm first, lady. Be all right. Beautiful place during the day. Nighttime, gotta lock the doors. He got married, then married again. Is this how y'all do it homestead? Y'all just take... Yeah, like, I'm only kidding. You don't have to come up. Sip some water and just leave it up there for people. They said, oh, no hablo inglés. He said, comedy show. Yes. I said, God can turn your life around. He did it for me. He turned my life around 360 degrees. Okay, some of y'all need to go back to math class. Y'all like, what's the problem with that?
Yeah, the Maurice Brown Comedy Show. That was Kason Wilson, who's the writer now for Jon Stewart's new show out in L.A., and Martin Amini, who is touring the nation as a stand-up comic. And stay tuned, the Maurice Brown Comedy Show in 2023. Oh, yeah, it's coming your way this year. You stand by for that. You're watching the Maurice Brown NFL Edition show with Antoine Stewart, Caleb Lopes, and Aaron Too Tall Moore. We're going to take a look at the playoff picture in the AFC. We're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs right now at 13-3 with the number 1 seed, followed by Buffalo at 12-3 with the 2 seed, Cincinnati at 11-4 with the 3 seed, and the winner of Jacksonville, Tennessee, they're going to nail down that 4th spot. And in the wild card, you've got the Chargers at 10-6 and the Ravens at 10-6. At the 5 and 6 spots. In the hunt in the AFC, you've got Jacksonville again, who, if they win, will take the 4 seed at 8-8. New England 8-8 at the 7 seed. On the bubble, Miami, Pittsburgh, and the Titans. The most intriguing team I feel right now in all of this has to be the Miami Dolphins in my mind, simply because 4 weeks ago, some, including me, was crowning him. Like, I think this may be the team that's going to the Super Bowl, to a team now that's on the bubble. How do you explain that one, Stu?
They played San Francisco. After that, they weren't the same. If you look at it, I think Tua was undefeated before he played us. And then, we kind of broke their ego a little bit. They haven't really been playing the same. I don't know what's going on with them. I haven't really been watching too many of their games, but something's going on. Something's wrong. How are you one of the hottest teams, the hottest scoring team, and then you just wet the bed? Especially when it gets cold. We all know that in November, December, this is when the best teams emerge and they start playing their best football. And Miami, in my opinion, is showing that they don't deserve to be in the playoffs. They're not playing well enough. And if they did get in, I mean, there'd be it's 0-0 if they got in, but I don't think they're going to get in. I think Jacksonville is the hot team right now that's going to get in, and the other teams that are in front of them. But I don't have any faith in the Dolphins.
No, I don't either. And I after those concussions that Tua had, particularly after the second one when they flew him out to the hospital from the stadium, I was like, this guy can't take another snap for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And yet the Dolphins saw fit 2 games later to put him right back out on the field. And, those concussions had him thinking he played for Green Bay a few weeks ago. He thought he was a Packer. And they kept trying to tell him, no, man. Anyway, and so do they have a shot? No, they don't have a shot. they don't have a shot. If you're gonna try to put my bad Teddy Bridgewater out there, you couldn't even beat New England. So no, I think they're done. But I like Pittsburgh. What do you think about the Steelers and the chances of them getting in and causing a stir?
With Pittsburgh, they have a good team, but still another team that I don't have any faith in. I think that their quarterback needs to get a little more sauce, a little more season on him. I think next year there'll be a more in the talk of being in the conversation. But I don't. They could get in, but I don't really have too much faith in them as well. Let me see.
I think the most intriguing game of the weekend is going to be Jacksonville, Tennessee. Well, it's not the most, but it's one of the intriguing games. What do you think about Jacksonville and Tennessee, Caleb?
Honestly, Jacksonville, on the run that they've had, I think they've won 4 in a row now. They should beat Tennessee pretty easily. And just because I'm pretty sure this was their 6th loss in a row for Tennessee. And it's just their season's over. And I doubt I'm pretty sure they're already out of the playoff conversation, right?
Well, yeah, no. If Tennessee wins this game, they're going to win the AFC South.
Oh yeah,
and they'll be in, and Jacksonville will be out. This is a one and done game for both.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Jags will win. I think they're starting from the University of Tennessee. They have to first convince him he's not playing for the University of Tennessee, and then go out there and try to beat the Jags. Anyway, that being said, that's a look at the AFC playoff picture. Let's take a look at the NFC. And Aaron, I'm going to let you take this one because your boys are out, could actually be in this conversation. We're looking at the NFC 1 seed, the Philadelphia Eagles at 13-3, the Niners 12-4 at 2 seed, 3 seed Vikings 12-4, Bucks with the 4 seed at 8-8, and then you're looking at the Cowboys and Giants with the 5 and 6 spots for the NFC wild card. Cowboys are 12-4, the Giants are 9-6-1, and this is where the Commanders come in because in the hunt, you've got the Seahawks at a 7 seed, and on the bubble, you've got Detroit and the Packers both at 8-8. And this scenario is weird because the Commanders would be sitting at that 7 seed right now had they won on Sunday. Your thoughts?
It's frustrating looking at that. But looking at that, I think one of the teams that I like and I would like to see get in the playoffs in the NFC is the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
I think if they sneak up in there and they can get in, I believe they need help to get in. But if they get in, I don't think that's a team that really nobody want to play. I know the Packers are hot right now. Of course, they look good. The Seahawks, I don't see them getting there. I think Gino has cooled down a little bit. I don't see them getting there, but I think the Packers going to be that last seed getting in, overcoming because I believe they play Detroit for that last seed. I think they're going to beat the Lions for that last seed.
Well, if Green Bay beats Detroit, they're in. Seahawks and Lions are out.
Mm-hmm.
However, if the Lions win and the Seahawks lose, they're in. But I think the Seahawks would have a shot if Green Bay loses. I don't know how that plays out, but all three have a chance to get in. Exactly how that scenario. But I'll tell you right now, the Packers could lose to the Lions very easily. Again, I mean, there's been a lot of luck to go along with Green Bay, as well as skill. There's been a lot of luck. You don't get to play Kirk Cousins every Sunday, you know. And you see, and then we had a guy that, you know, because of concussions, thought he played for the Packers. You know? So we had a lot of luck involved to get here. There's no guarantee we're going to beat the Lions on Sunday. So we will see. Well, I mean, I hope we can, dude. I mean, I've watched this ugly movie play out all year with Green Bay, so I'm not counting on anything special. I'm just going to hope we can win the ball game. But that being said, looking at the playoff picture there, let's take a look at because the games that are coming up this weekend are really going to define how the playoff picture looks. And we start out on Saturday. Games being played on Saturday, starting with the Chiefs and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are out, but that game will be played in Vegas at 4:30 p.m. on ABC and ESPN. The Chiefs are trying to lock down home field. It's not a done deal yet. Stewart, your thoughts on this one?
I got the Chiefs. The only way the Raiders will win is if the Chiefs sat Mahomes and the starters. I think the Chiefs will take care of business on the road. I like that. And we get another chance to see how that quarterback does again. You know, if he can put on a consistent, a similar performance that he put against the 49ers. So, but I still got the Chiefs. I got the Chiefs winning that game.
Well, they need to make sure that they do win it because Buffalo's trying to get that home field. And see, tomorrow night, it's Buffalo and Cincinnati. What a huge game that's going to be. That is going to be a huge game. Man. And I tell you right now, the Chiefs have not looked like they're 12, like they're 13-3, but they have not looked like world beaters to me. Mm-hmm. I mean, heck, dude, they barely beat the Broncos the other day. Yeah. I mean, they had 2 close games with the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
And so they don't look like world beaters. And if Jason Stidham looks anything like he did against the 49ers, they're going to beat the Chiefs.
Come back.
Yeah.
His mic went out.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, I think the 49ers are going to the Super Bowl. And, you know, that's all
right, guys. My bad. I dipped out on you. I was probably talking too much trash about the Chiefs. let's leave that alone. I will leave Andy the Chiefs alone. But you're right, Stu. Stu, you're right. The Chiefs go with. Aaron, what do you think about this game here, the Chiefs and the Raiders?
Yeah, I like the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs to win this one. They fighting for that home field. I don't think they're going to allow the Raiders to do much. I think they're going to try to get them out early. But yeah, I see the Kansas City taking care of business.
And Caleb, I would assume you feel the same way.
Yeah, I agree with y'all. They should go take care of business. Shouldn't even be a close game.
So we're looking at now the Ravens and Bengals. And they have not determined, unless it's come out already. And earlier today, they did not have a game time set for this game on Saturday, the Ravens and the Bengals. How do you see this one, Stu?
I think the Bengals are going to take care of business. Actually, they're up right now, 7-3 over the Bills. I just had to check.
Yeah.
But I think the Bengals going to handle business. The Ravens aren't the same team without Lamar. I think that Bengals have what it takes. They got all the weapons. They got all the toys. They're trying to get in stride for this playoff run, and I think the Bengals are the better team. So I'm picking the Bengals to take care of business.
Of course, Ranella, you would say the Ravens. Of course you would. That's my sister-in-law. She loves it. Aaron, what do you think, bro?
You know what? I'm gonna take the Bengals in this, but this goes to say how much Lamar Jackson means to the Ravens. Because
That's right.
A lot of people, I would say, some people, I ain't gonna say it, but some people in that organization thought they could be the same team with Tyler Huntley. And obviously, he showed them otherwise. So, Lamar's about to get paid. So he, I believe they probably going to sit him out this week. I don't know his status. I haven't heard anything, but if he's probably questionable, they're going to sit him out this week and have Huntley go again. But if Lamar. Yeah, if you get Lamar back, even if Lamar plays, I still think the Bengals are going to win. Just because he needs to get his feet wet. He's been out a couple weeks.
Yeah,
and unless they run the ball very well, I still see the Bengals winning this one.
Yeah, I do as well. Doc Kennedy says Tyler Huntley playing poorly as Lamar's saving grace. Well, not only that, he's just not very good. I'll say this. If I were the Ravens owner, I would call Lamar Jackson into my office and get this contract done. Just before the playoffs start, I would call him into my office and get this contract done.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. I mean, they got to be kidding themselves if they don't think this man deserves to be paid. I'm just at a loss on that.
We'll take him down the road.
Hey, you may have to kidnap him the way things are going at Washington right now. So then at 8:15 on Saturday night, it's the Titans and Jags on ABC ESPN. Who you got in this one, Stu?
I think the Jags are going to stomp a mud hole in the Titans. I think it's going to be bad. Tennessee, they lost. We know what the game plan is with Tennessee. You stop the running back, that's it. Jags are playing well right now on both sides of the ball. Their offense, they're scoring points. They're running the ball well. I'm picking Jacksonville Jaguars. And they're fighting for that playoff spot.
No doubt. Caleb, what do you think, buddy?
Yeah, I think the Jags should go handle business. For real, the only player on the Titans right now that I see as a threat is Derrick Henry, and he hasn't been playing the same caliber. So they should handle business, and yeah, I think they got that one. They should go get that one.
Yeah, Doc Kennedy says Lamar was an inch from a bad contract offer. Getting hurt will make him money. Actually, I think you're right. The fact that now they see, and if they don't see, I got an extra pair of glasses around here, that he needs to get paid. No question about it. Aaron, who you got, Titans or Jags?
I would pick the Jags, but I think it's going to be closer than what people think because they purposely set A-Train out last week to get ready for this game.
Okay.
So he could have played last week, but they set him out because they knew it didn't matter if they won or lost last week. It was going to come down to this game this week. So they got to stop the train. And Train getting about 30, 35 carries.
Yes, sir.
They can't and they know it's coming. And everybody knows it's coming, but people who knew it was coming still couldn't stop it.
I totally agree with that.
If they can't stop him, then they're gonna have trouble because they flew a quarterback in from Pittsburgh, Dobbs. They flew Dobbs in, and he played decent last week against the Cowboys. He almost pulled it out. He played decent last week, Dobbs. So this is second week in the offense. So Dobbs, I mean, he could do a little couple play actions boot. He could run. So I'll tell you this: I won't be surprised if Titans win. Put it that way, because a lot of
Dobbs
is he's not bad.
A bum. He's not a bum. He just hadn't been given an opportunity. So no, he's
only thing he has to do is control the game. Don't turn the ball over. Make plays when he's called upon, and hand the ball off. If Titans defense show up as the way they do, then I think the Jags might be a little bit surprised after the final buzzer go off.
Well, I think it's going to be an entertaining ball game. There's no doubt in my mind about that. I would lean towards the Jag, but I like what you said about Big Dog. And if they feed him 30, 35 times, it's going to be a long day for the Jags. There's no question in my mind about that. We move now to Sunday's games, starting out with the Bucks and Falcons at 1 p.m. It's come to my understanding that Tom Brady is going to play in a meaningless game. What do you think of that, Stu?
If it's meaningless, I mean, that can go either way. It depends.
Well, the Bucks are in the playoffs. They've already won the division.
Right. What I mean is, it depends on if the Bucks decide to sit starters that are kind of battling through injuries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Atlanta is a good enough team that if you sleep on them, they can win a game.
Yes, they can.
So it's one of those toss-up games. Like it's a meaningless game. Are they going to have the same? I know Brady. He's going to approach it like it means something because this is like a practice game to get ready for the playoffs. But you also don't want to do too much. And if you got guys that are banged up, you kind of want to rest them. You really don't want to go into the playoffs re-injuring guys that are already playing banged up, and they're not that good of a team as far as how they've been playing. So you need all the advantages you can get. So I'm going to just say the Bucks just because they're the playoff team, but it's really a 50-50.
And you know what? That sounds like Brady too, to just go out there and try to get ready for the playoffs and play. So I 100% believe that. Let's look at the Vikings and Bears at 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, the Patriots and Bills. This is a big game for both. One, the Patriots need to get in the playoffs. The Bills need to get home field. Caleb, your thoughts?
I'm gonna take the Bills in this game. They're the better overall team by a lot. But the thing is, with the Bills, they can't give up these easy games. Josh Allen, he really kind of chokes in these big games where he does.
He does.
But I feel like the Bills can overcome that and still win against the Patriots.
Yeah, well, the Patriots have not shown any reason to be fearful of them.
Yeah.
So at home, yeah, they should actually pimp slap the Patriots. Let's go to the Vikings and Bears at 1 o'clock in Chicago. Big game for the Vikings. What do you think about this one? I mean, it's a big game because they have home field on the line. I don't think the Vikings remotely believe they can get it. What do you think about that one, Aaron?
The Vikings probably come back and win this one. I mean, even though we needed them, we needed Kirk Cousins to give us one, but he didn't hold the bar up for us. So I think they come back and probably try to redeem themselves after the Packers lost.
Yeah,
but I mean they win this one. Depending who they play in the first round of the playoffs, I still have no faith in the Vikings. The way they've been playing in these big games.
Okay. We've got at 1 o'clock a meaningless game for real with the Texans and Colts. Matter of fact, I heard ESPN was looking for a new commentator. Then at 1, also the Jets and Dolphins. This game was important. The Jets are done. They're eliminated. They got to be feeling as bad as the Commanders, the Jets.
Yeah,
I mean, they had everything going their way, and they just wet the bed the last 3 weeks. Can't move the ball. And I'm going to say this. Zach Wilson said it's not my fault about 7 weeks ago. And you know what? I think I agree with him. The offensive coordinator for this team is horrible. Can't win with Zach Wilson. Can't win with Mike White. can't win with Joe Flacco. And you have arguably the top 5 defense in the NFL. The Jets defense is real. And they got no support. It's a shame. They got to be feeling as bad as the Commanders. And then I don't know if you can ever feel as bad as the Commanders. Just kidding, Aaron. But they got to be feeling bad. Anyway, the Dolphins, if they win, they have an outside shot at getting it. We'll see what happens. Panthers and the Saints, completely meaningless game. Browns, Steelers, huge game for the Steelers. One of the biggest rivalries in the NFL. What do you think of this matchup, Stu?
I believe the Browns are going to get it done. I believe we have to understand that, because of Deshaun Watson's situation, that he hasn't played majority of the season. If he actually started this year, I think the Browns would be a lot better team than they are. He hasn't played before that. He didn't play the whole year, the following year. So Browns got a good defense. They got weapons. They have an excellent running game. I think the Browns are going to get it done.
Now, Dyke says the Seahawks brought it. That's why the Jets lost. Yes, they did. And also they lost because they brought their quarterbacks with them. But that being said, though, Doc, you're right. The Seahawks did their thing. They've had a good year with Geno Smith, no doubt about that. Giants and the Eagles. Huge game on Sunday at 4:25.
Giants.
Caleb, what you got going in this one, Caleb?
Honestly, I'm gonna pick the Giants, just because.
Okay.
Not only am I cheering for them, it might be a little bit because of that, but I feel like they're gonna go get it done. They're gonna play like their best ball, and the Eagles with Gardner Minshew, they really don't look like the same team like they did with Jalen Hurts.
Well, and I don't want to blame it all on Gardner Minshew. Everybody's got to show up, and they got to rally around the young quarterback. And I didn't see any moxie from the team. It's like – so, anyway, I don't want to put it all on Gardner. Clearly, he's not Jalen Hurts. This is a big game. No question about it. Aaron Moore, what do you think about it?
I really don't care about that game.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Commander fan on the show right now. Please understand.
But I would say I would talk about the Browns and the Steelers. I think the Steelers win that only because of Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
If you look at what he did with this roster, I don't think nobody thought that they would be in this position right now. If they win, they in, or they might need help. But he's never had a losing season. So
no, he hasn't. No,
he's never had a losing season, and I don't think it's going to start when they play next week, this coming week. I think their defense is going to step up to the plate and help that young quarterback with the running game, and I think the Browns are going into they're going to see the steel curtain when they come in there, because it's the playoffs for the Steelers. It's a playoff game.
It is.
I think them terrible towels going to be swirling up in there. And it's gonna be a tough game for them. It's not gonna be like coming to the Commanders when they played us. I'd say that much.
Well, I'm gonna save you for last on this one, but we do have the Cowboys, as you speak of the Commanders, at 4:25 on Sunday. Stu, your thoughts on this game?
I'm gonna say this: if they play Taylor Heineke, I'm picking the Commanders to pull off the upset. If they play Wentz, it's a wrap. It's the Cowboys going to do what they do. But Heineke, it could be the last hurrah to go out with some respect on your name, because this is the Cowboys. If you're not making the playoffs, what better way to end it than to beat the Cowboys? Just because for the fun of it, it's the Cowboys. You want to beat the Cowboys, so this is like their playoff game. So I'm picking the Commanders to pull off the upset if Taylor Heineke plays.
If I were Taylor Heineke, I'd be like, nah, I'm not going in. I'm not going in. No. But anyway, Caleb, what do you think about this one, bro?
I got Cowboys, which with whatever quarterback that the Commanders start, they're just they're the better team on paper, and I think they're gonna show it on the field. That's simple, I guess.
Aaron, it's all yours, bro.
I believe we could win, but I don't want it to be with Carson Wentz or Heineke. I want Sam Howell. I want to see Sam Howell, and I want Carson Wentz in street clothes, and I want Heineke as my backup. I want Sam Howell. I want Sam Howell starting because I want to see what he got. I mean, we haven't. It's no point of playing Heineke or Wentz. We both know who they are and what they are, and let's see the young kid in this last game. Give us something to look forward to. Let him make some plays, and see what we have. If we have something in him, if he could go for the starting gig next year. But that's who I want to see.
You sound like a hostage taker that is demanding all your money in $100 bills if you want to get Carson Wentz and Taylor Heineke back. But anyway, dude, I mean, look, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say, and please, you being a Commander fan, I want you to correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like this, where this game is concerned, it doesn't mean anything to the Commanders. I get it. They're out. But if you beat the Cowboys, it could make up for the entire season. If you're a Commander fan and you beat Dallas at home to end the year, it might erase all the wounds. Am I right or wrong?
You're wrong. And
okay.
I'm going to say this. You're wrong only because we've been hearing this for 19, 20 years. And it's the same old thing. And matter of fact, we've been hearing this for the last 3 years, from Ron Rivera.
Right. You mean Riverboat Ron. Is that the one you mean?
Riverboat Ron.
Up the river Ron.
Yeah.
Whatever. Him. And I would say this. It won't mean anything if we beat the Cowboys with Wentz. It won't mean anything if we beat them with Heineke. But it will mean something if we beat them with Sam Howell.
Okay.
Because I would say it will mean something if we beat them with Sam Howell. Because then again, we have something to look forward to like every year, going into the offseason, So that's who I hope they start. I don't think Ron is going to do it. I won't be surprised if he starts Wentz. I won't be surprised if he starts Heineke. I mean,
he already named the starter though. You didn't hear it?
Nah.
It's gonna be Colin Kaepernick.
It may be our mascot. Did y'all see our new mascot?
No.
Y'all don't want to see him. And y'all don't want to see him.
It's too bad for the Commanders, dude. Honestly, you guys had it all wrapped up, and you just let it get away. You just cannot give up the position that you're in. So I understand the anger. We move forward to the Rams and Seahawks at 4:25. Meaningless for the Rams. The Seahawks, they have a very minuscule chance to sneak in with the win, but they're going to need for the Packers to lose, I believe, for them to get in. We'll see what happens there. We got the Cardinals and 49ers at 4:25, and the 49ers will go out and they'll do their thing against the Cardinals. I don't have any doubt in my mind about that. And then later on that night on NBC at 8:20 p.m., it's the Detroit Lions traveling to Lambeau Field to play the Green Bay Packers. Playoff implications all over the place. Stu, who you got?
I'm taking the Green Bay Packers at home. I like the Detroit Lions. They playing well and all that stuff. But the thing that really impressed me, and I meant to say this earlier about the Packers, is your secondary. Your secondary has stepped up to the plate. They've been drinking the swag juice or whatever it is they drinking. They shut down arguably the best receiver, or he's been playing the best receiver in the league this year. And the Minnesota Vikings. What he had 2 catches for like 16 yards, something crazy.
One catch for 15 yards.
They shut him down, and he said the cornerback, the number 1 cornerback, he was like
Jair Alexander.
He was going to lock him down, and he did. And if your secondary can lock down the Vikings receivers, I believe that they can stop the Lions receivers, and they can run the ball on the Lions and stuff like that. I think the Packers are going to win at home.
Well, if there's anything that I can give the Packers credit for is shutting Justin, because it was a collective effort. Jair Alexander called him out and he backed it up.
Yeah.
But he also had collective help from the entire secondary. Like he wasn't one-on-one the entire game, and they threw some packages at him and they shut him down. And I think he's arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. You don't do that to Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
And they did. So I give them credit for that. You know, all the picks that they've been getting, I think there's a lot of luck with the picks when you're playing with quarterbacks that are groggy or they're just, anyway, I leave it alone. But that defense they put on Justin Jefferson was amazing. Caleb, who you got in this one?
I was muted for a second. Yeah.
Okay.
I got the Packers too for the same reasons, and I just think their defense is better. Their offense is definitely better, and I feel like they're the better team overall, and they should go out there and get the win.
Aaron Moore.
I like the Packers in this one. I think and Rodgers gets it done. I think the Lions keep it close though. I think they keep it close, but I think in the fourth quarter, I think it's going to be a play that Aaron Rodgers makes that the Lions don't make. That's going to seal the victory for the Packers.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, as a Packer fan, I don't have any wild notions here about us just dominating or even winning the game. We've had a bad year. And that is just the bottom line. And we've had some luck. Thank you, Washington Commanders. We love you in Green Bay. And so I wouldn't be shocked if Detroit won. Detroit's balled out this year. They've won 7 of their last 9 games. And one of those victories happened to be against the Packers about 5 weeks ago. And this is not a done, deal. I mean, this is going to be a dogfight. And they decided to make this the night game on NBC. The NFL decided to make this the night game because this is a great matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Lions are balling.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to call this. I will be rooting for my boys, no doubt. But I don't have any preconceived notions by any stretch of the imagination that we got this, as it were. But that's going to be interesting. A lot of good games on the weekend. We are going to, let's see. Doc says Lions win. Hawkinson, big game. Hawkinson. Who's Hawkins? Anybody know who Hawkinson is? I know that's.
It was I think they got him in the draft.
Okay. Is he a tight end or I don't know who he is, but
I think he's like outside linebacker, something like that. He's on defense.
Well, let us know who Hawkinson is, Doc. And Doc, you may be right. I'm not going to say that it's not possible. The Lions could definitely go in there and win that ball game. It's going to be a good one.
He's talking about T.J. Hawkinson, the tight end.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he has a brother that plays for the Vikings, doesn't he?
That I'm not sure, but I know T.J. Hawkinson. They got him in a trade in the middle of the year.
Okay.
Yeah. He played tight end.
So let's see. We got okay. Doc says my bad. Williams.
Oh, Williams.
Yes, because I think Hawkinson plays for the Vikings at tight end. But that being said, look, Doc, the Lions could win this game. I ain't going to argue with you on that. The Lions have had a great year, and they could go into Lambeau and win this ball game. There's no doubt about that. 8:20 on NBC Sunday night. Packers Lions at Lambeau Field. Guys, this has been a great show. But before we dip out of here, final thoughts, starting with you, Stu.
I think that this is going to be one of the most exciting playoffs we've had in some time. A lot of great teams on AFC and NFC. And I'm hoping that, the officials call it right. I hope there's not any super big calls that cost the team the game in the playoffs. And I'm just interested, and I'm ready to see a good playoff run.
Yeah.
Caleb?
This is how it's looking is going to be a super exciting week. A lot of playoff implications, a lot of big games. hopefully the teams that need to go out and win, they go do that. And yeah, hopefully just hoping for another good week of football.
Aaron Moore, your final thoughts.
Washington trash. My father thought. Washington trash.
Come on, Aaron. Come on, man. Hey, man. Look, man. Hold on. Let me just say, these are my final thoughts. The whole thing, and I like to make a lot of jokes about the Commanders. They've been bad for the last 19, 20 years.
Man.
There's no question about that. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this on behalf of the Commanders, and I really believe this. The moment the NFL finds a way to remove Daniel Snyder as the owner of that glorified franchise, because if you look at the franchise history of the Washington as we knew them, Redskins, they were this close to becoming one of the greatest organizations of all time, as Jack Kent Cooke was the present owner at that time. When Jack Kent Cooke left, he was replaced by his son for 1 year. Admittedly, he said, I don't want to do this. Okay. And then Dan Snyder got the job, and they have been crap ever since because he's got a bad reputation. Anybody that's ever met Dan Snyder has had very few good things to say about him. And the league now has him right where they want him because he's turned out to be a pretty bad guy and a womanizer. And the moment he's removed as the owner of that team and they get a fresh start, they'll be back. They'll be back. And he has very little time remaining as the owner of that team because the NFL has him right where it's a shame for the Washingtonians and the Redskin fans, what we knew them as the Redskin fan. It's the greatest fans in the NFL. One of the greatest teams we've ever seen with the Hogs. and Theismann and Joe Riggins and all those guys, Mark Rippon, man, you can go on and on. Great teams. And it's a shame to see what's happened to that franchise. I'm going to tell you that right now. They have become, Aaron, I'm sorry, I'm just keeping it 100. They have become the laughing stock of the NFL. And it's all on Dan Snyder. He destroyed that team. And if you get if you get new ownership in there, I think that you're looking at all right, Doc. Come on, Doc. But anyway, look.
Don't show that mascot. Don't show that mascot.
Look, man, look. I'm just saying to you, the Commanders, the Washington franchise, they've had talent over the years to get deep playoff runs. They've had a lot of talent come through there. So I think your day's coming. Is long story short.
Hopefully, it's
your day's coming in Washington. Things are going to be okay. Things are going to be okay. Do you feel any better, Aaron?
You didn't sound convincing when you were saying that.
Okay. Well, anyway, I did the best I could do, Aaron.
I got to float Ryan up the river.
And, dude, I hate putting, bad language out there about anybody. But, dude, the things that Dan Snyder's done as the owner of that team, it is really bad. And you got to remove Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera's got to go. That whole coaching staff. I don't know about the entire coaching staff, but Ron's got to go.
But he's going to be back next year because if a new owner comes in, because they say about March, if everything goes well by March, we should have a new owner. If I'm a new owner, I'm not gonna want to fire my coach, and I just came in. I might as well give him because I need to, like, you need to talk around the league. You need to talk to people. You need to get within the NFL organization to see, well, who should I hire? Because I'm a new NFL owner. I don't know who to hire. Let me talk to. Let me get a year under my belt to talk to people to see who's a good fit, who's a good GM, who's a good this, who's a good that. Let me get all my people ready. So in case I do fire Ron Rivera, then I would have my coach. I would have everything set in place so I could go off the streets running because I don't want, him to come in and hire a new coach and then it's 2-15, and keep Rivera next year, and then the following year, if we want a new coach, then let's get a new coach.
Well, as I said before, and I'll end it with this: his gravestone should read, "I didn't know." Anyway, that being said, guys, I'll tell you right now, this has been a great show. And folks, if you have enjoyed watching it, like it and share it, and subscribe to the Maurice Brown Comedy Channel, as well as any social media engine that Antoine, Real Stewart, and Aaron Moore are part of, as well as Caleb Lopes. He's the field goal kicker of the #1 rated AAU A12 football team in America, the Treasure Coast Patriots. And your season is going to start when? The new season?
Mid-February.
You don't want to miss out. Caleb is already kicking 35-yarders at 13. Ladies and gentlemen, you will be sure to see him at a D1 school in about 5 years as the starting field goal kicker on a 4-year ride, and certainly the NFL after that. Got to keep working hard, Caleb. Keep watching those YouTube videos of kickers. Keep befriending the current kicker of the high school you'll be attending, who's about to get a 4-year ride, and just keep working on your game, man. You are definitely on your way. Ladies and gentlemen, also, if you came in at the end of this and you missed it, hey, watch the replay on Facebook or YouTube or on the Creative Motion Network on Roku TV. You can also listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and Audible, where all podcasts are heard. You can catch the Maurice Brown Show NFL edition. And also every Saturday night, you can listen to or watch the Maurice Brown Show on KCHF TV in Albuquerque, New Mexico. If you are a follower of our Breaking Down the Four Walls show, a show of comedians that break down the Bible, and will do that with laughs, but most importantly, information about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And we're coming your way tomorrow night at 8 p.m. with actor Joseph Cannon from the film Paul's Promise. He won the Best Actor Award at the International Christian Film Festival this past May in Orlando, Florida. He's going to be on the show along with comedians Fifi Frazier, Don Davis-Womack, Kim Curley, and Christy Condor. And, of course, the quarterback will be yours truly, Maurice Brown. So we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow night. I'm going to tell you that right now. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Guys, this has been a great show once again. We got some fun. By the way, Stu, what is the score right now in the Buffalo-Cincinnati game?
Let me see. The score is, let's see. Let me pull it up. 7-3. Still a 7-3. So
okay, and we're still in the first half.
Yep.
Okay, this is a dogfight. Look, if this is a dogfight, and nobody's pulling away from this one, so this one's got huge implications for home field advantage. So I fully expect that to be a dogfight. This is no game out here. This is not for grins and giggles tonight. Even though they both have great records and they have excellent playoff positioning, but this is for home field.
Yeah,
this is for the road to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
this should be a dogfight. Buffalo cannot go out there and wet the bed tonight. You got to go up there, bare knuckles. This got to be a bare knuckles back alley brawl.
Yeah,
that's what it's got to be. We're not playing here. So I love it. We'll get out of here so we can go finish watching this daggone game. Guys, this has been a great show. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you next Monday around about or Tuesday for another edition of the Maurice Brown Show NFL edition. May the peace of Christ, my friends, be with you and your families. God bless.
Okay.